The rain painted the soil dark. Alright, that sounds like a good opening for a horror game, but anyway, this is decidedly not a horror game. Hello all you crazy people out there, my name is Dragonite, and welcome back to Harvest December. So, we are midway through a wedding, and there's some kind of ritual going on inside this shrine on the top screen. Anyway, I felt like I hadn't taken a breath in ages. I mindlessly watched the ground spot and gradually take on a darker hue. It's getting heavy, Sine said. I finally snapped out of my daze and stepped back under the roof to keep myself from getting wet. I could hear the raindrops bouncing off the roof above our heads. The rain was getting heavier by the second. It sure is different from the rehearsals. We were kept busy with the rehearsals for the wedding right after I asked Sine to be my partner. Usually it took a month for the preparations, but since we had only a week to get ready, most of the time after school was spent rehearsing. Are you alright spending all that time on this? For someone studying for entrance examinations, 1 week is a long time, I replied, but I added, a very big but. Then again, I couldn't quite ruin this event by missing out on rehearsals, could I? I grinned. Sine grinned back. I felt like it had been ages since I'd seen her smile. Can't hear anything, I said as I leaned against the wall. Behind these wooden walls, the wedding ritual was being performed with just Shiro and the bride and groom. They didn't make a sound, so we couldn't figure out what was going on. Well, this is boring. Yeah. We didn't really have anything left over to do other than wait for our turn to receive our blessings. We couldn't walk around in the rain either, so we were stuck there listening to the rain. It didn't feel right to just chat as usual either, since the sacred ritual was being performed just a few feet away. This wedding ritual had been held for centuries. Countless couples had gone through it, and countless attendants had waited here for their turns to be blessed. Did they all love each other? Wasn't there anybody like me? Somebody that had doubts and was unsure about it all? Hey, what do you think the blessing actually is? Sanae suddenly asked. She took me by surprise, so it took time for me to respond. What's going to change, I wonder? Once we get blessed, that is. Maybe it's not something that gives instant happiness. I'm guessing it's something that gives serenity. Serenity? You know, feeling whole and achieving something higher state of consciousness the way that some religious people say they do. Happiness isn't something that comes in one go. Or so Masaki says, I explained. I see. Well, I guess you're right, because usually people talk about being happy when they think back over long spans of time. In other words, nobody can really say whether the blessing works for sure. But if it didn't, the tradition wouldn't have been around for such a long time, would it? There are lots of people claiming that it brought them happiness. That's proof enough for me, so I'm just going to think something good will happen when we're blessed. I mean, do you have a control group where you don't give out the blessing and see what happens then? The scientist in me says. Alright, I'm ruining the moment. So you believe in it. We've got a walking, talking god in this town. It's hard not to. I tapped the door with my finger. We'll find out soon enough. Sanae. She was walking closer to me. Stay there. There isn't a rule that says we can't stay close together. She stood by my side. Our arms touched. I looked away automatically. I admit it, I was feeling shy. We're alone as ever. You're actually aware of that, she whispered. I had a feeling you were avoiding me. You were right. Kohai. I wanted to explain, but I couldn't. I just made funny noises in my throat each time I attempted to. Thankfully, Sine didn't pursue the matter further. It seemed that she understood I couldn't find the words. I didn't know how much time passed. Listening to the rain twisted my senses. Time dragged on. A blessing! Shiro's voice boomed. We looked back and saw the white light leak from the bottom of the door. Sine and I looked at each other. The light gradually faded away. We understood the ritual was a success. The door opened. Now you two are rightfully wed. You have my blessings. You may return home to begin your life together. Shiro took the bride. There's no end quote there. There should be an end quote there. Shiro led the bride and groom out of the shrine by hand. Something along those lines. Oh. The two had soft smiles on their faces. It wasn't the excited smile of temporary happiness. It was a quiet smile that said they knew they had each other forever, and they could always look back and know for certain the happiness they felt this moment would never leave their hearts. Go now. Shiro let their hands go. May your roads be clear of danger. May your roads be clear of sin. With that, our job was done. I passed Michitaka-san an umbrella. He opened it and shielded Tayaka-san from the rain. Huddled close together, they made their way down the wet mountain path. The ritual wasn't over yet. They were to walk down the sacred path together, and only when they safely reached the land where people resided, they would finally be allowed to acknowledge. Would they finally be acknowledged by all as man and wife? We watched their backs as they slowly began to walk, as they slowly walked away, till we couldn't see them anymore. It was a beautiful wedding. It must have been a good ritual. What are you talking about? Shiro had returned from her to her casual self. It's your turn next. The god of harvest, Shiro said with the kind eyes of a mother. I've fallen. That doesn't sound good. It's tiring to stay prim and proper for so long. Yes, but isn't it a bit soon for you to squat on the ground like that? We've still got the blessed share to do. Why should I behave all proper before you two? Ugh. And here I was thinking everything was so sacred and special. Sanae was open about her disappointment. She was pretty taken by the sacred imagery. Shiro, who was sitting in a corner of the room, padded over to Shiro to curl up by her feet. He must have been tired because he started to snore immediately. Even if I bless you two, why are you looking so reluctant? Because I don't think you two really need it. What about Masaki and Yuki? I cursed them both before they asked for it. Shiro was dead honest. Everybody wants to be happy. Of course, we all want your blessing. Really? Of course we all want your blessing. Okay, let's put the emphasis on the right words for once. Really? Shiro said as her eyes flashed gold. It reminded me that, indeed, she was a god. Are you sure you want this? I swallowed. I'm asking you, do you really want my blessing? That's what you were here for. Shut up. I was talking to Kohai. Answer me. You would regret it all. Yes. Alright, I'll do it then, easy as pie. Her golden eyes shimmered. I'll ask you, Sanae, are you willing to receive the blessed share, to accept a portion of what you two have received before you? Yes! The air in the temple misted white. Then it was as if thousands of rays of light were shining from every direction. It was blinding. But it was comforting. It was pure, cleansing light. I have heard you. Shiro nodded and faced me. I ask you, Kohai, are you willing to receive the blessed share, to accept a portion of what you two have received before you? Yes. Shiro nodded again. I could feel Sanae shifting to face me. The rays of light filled the room again. I had to squeeze my eyes shut tightly to avoid being blinded, and... Huh? I opened my eyes. Shiro was sitting before me. Wolf Shiro was snoring by her feet. Sanae was looking around the room in confusion with her mouth hanging open. Nothing. All the light had dissipated. I did not hear you. The blessing had failed. But why? It worked for me. How come? I warned you, Kohai. I trembled uncontrollably. I felt all my energy leave me. I couldn't even think straight. You will regret it all. Mayuri's words had come true. I had this coming all along. I was not worthy. But why? Why didn't Kohai? Sanae kept asking questions. Each time she asked, I had no answer for her. I had no excuse. Because Kohai didn't want to be blessed with you. Simple as that. I stood up on shaky legs. I thought it was a miracle I could actually move. Come back when you're ready, Shiro called out. I didn't look back. When you think you're ready for it, I'll bless you any time you want. I didn't look back. Well, that's disappointing. I'm asked. How long have I been recording now for? 9 minutes. Let's keep going. Even tiny raindrops have substance to them. I felt crushed under their continuous beating. I dragged my legs forward, one step at a time like a zombie. I was hollow inside. I ruined it all. I felt my mind repeatedly spacing out and regaining consciousness again. Maybe I would slip and fall off a cliff if I kept walking in this state. I knew it was dangerous, but now my legs are moving of their own accord and I didn't care. When I reached the small narrow path, I stopped. I didn't have the energy to go on. This was the path the newlyweds had used to descend the mountain. That specifically the newlyweds had used to descend the mountain. It was the path that symbolized the beginning of a journey through life together. I didn't dare taint it with my presence. I couldn't step on the ground with these 2 feet of mine. I didn't have the right to stand on that soil while I had a soul that didn't know how to forgive. Kohai! I didn't look back. You'll catch a cold! Here! I felt her come to my side, and then an umbrella shielded me from the rain. Shut up! I flung my arm, knocking the umbrella away. That is a telephone! Anyway, it dropped down to the ground slowly, then tumbled downhill. I didn't need salvation now. Not when I didn't deserve it. I... Sine made a sound in her throat, dazed. I knew what was coming. Why? She pummeled my back with her fist. Was it you or was it me? What did I do wrong? Tell me. You didn't do anything wrong. It took so much effort just to say that. But you chose me. I did. I didn't choose Sakura and I didn't choose Mayuri. I chose you. No! The cold rain was nothing compared to the chill I felt from her voice. You didn't choose me. She tensed her jaw. I could hear her teeth grind together angrily. I was the only one left. Her hands dug into my back. She squeezed the cloth of my uniform so tightly she could have torn it apart. I was the only one left. I was the last resort. I was too afraid to look back at her. You didn't want to choose me. You only asked me because I was the only one left. I wasn't chosen. I wasn't a choice. Her hands were shaking. I wanted to run away, but I couldn't. Kohai, do you know how long I've loved you? Forever. I've loved you forever. You're so dense. You easily let the other girls come close to you. And each time that happened, I was so afraid. I was tired of getting close to you, and I was worried about cooking, and be never noticed. Angry words. I was so crushed each time you didn't notice it. But it was okay, because being dense is just how you are, and I love you the way you are. I love you. I felt her weight on my back. She was pressing her face against me. She sobbed into my blazer. We were both drenched, but I could feel her tears soak through the material. I thought you'd finally chosen me. I thought you liked me too. But that was me, being stupid all along. I had to say something, but I didn't have any words for her. I wasn't someone that deserved to be blessed. Why did you choose me at all? Is it because of Mom? Because of tradition? Or did you want this to happen to make me give up? No. What did I want to say no? Say something, or do I disgust you so much you don't even want to talk to me? Forgiveness. I remembered what Tayaka-san told me. It was important to give way to one another. One party had to give in first, to set things right. I had nodded. I had agreed she was right, and that's why... Why do I have to do as you say? I couldn't forgive this at all. Why am I not allowed to study for entrance exams? I know that goes against what you want. Yumi-san told me about your dream. More importantly, let me ask you. I could feel her tense. Would you come to Tokyo with me if I asked? That's... If you're trying to force me into a future you want, why can't I force you into a future I want? But to go to Tokyo... You know what Yumi-san said? That she could afford it. If not, you could try for scholarships or work freelance there. Could you do that for me? But there's the shop. Don't put me together with the goddamn shop. I spun around. I could imagine the expression I had on my face from the look of the fear in her eyes. Then we stared each other down. As if we were two animals, knowing that one that looked away was the one that admitted defeat. This was the day of collision. The day all problems were ignored came out. The day that all problems we ignored came out in the open. Someone had to make way, but it didn't have to be me. We both thought that, and that's why nothing changed. Everybody was on Sine's side. Everybody expected me to join her in her dream. Maybe I should have expressed more reluctance, but even so, I found her dream incredibly demanding. And so I glared at my flashcards every day. I didn't care about getting into university. I just needed a way out, to escape from this expectation so I could choose and do as I wanted. I couldn't stand bending my life to suit her just because she demanded it. Forgiveness is the key. We'll put this on hold. Sine waited for me to speak further. She didn't understand my meaning. I know what you want, but what about you? Do you get me? That's the first time you told me about your feelings. Neither of us can give way to the other. So we're going to stay like this forever? We needed more time. That's why we're on hold. We'll think about this and decide by winter. Either way, either I give way or you do. What if I fall in love with someone else during that time? Then so be it. Okay. I looked up. The rain wasn't going to stop. We had to get back before we caught a cold. Let's go home. Yeah. Sine stuck out her hand. We aren't on bad terms, okay? I know. We shook on it. What? I tried to let go. Let's walk home like this. It makes it difficult to walk. Sure would. I complained, but we held hands as we made our way down. For the next 2 days, we missed school because we got sick. Fun times. Anyway, epilogue. Looks like this is going to be a 2-part epilogue. I'm going to end this off here. So, I hope you all enjoy that. My name is Dragonite, and I will see you all later.